Welcome to session number 3 of a new mindset for forgiveness. In this session, we're going to talk about a couple of things. One is, as a result of all of the harm and pain that we've encountered, how we actually feel about that, and then how we might be acting out or behaving as a result of that. So let's talk about a few of the common things that happen in terms of our feelings about hurt. One common one that I think we can all recognize and know, and because we've experienced, is anger or rage. I remember a colleague in an organization I was in who was a very angry, mad person. You know, the tone of his memos and even his words when he would talk were angry. I never knew what his background was like, but boy, he was just one angry person. I think another feeling that we have is that we want to exact revenge. You know, our self-talk might be, I will get even if it's the last thing I ever do. Another feeling we have is deep grief, which can lead to hopelessness or despair or dismay or despondency. A good friend of my wife, her husband ran off with his high school sweetheart after a 45-year marriage, and this poor woman is still in a state of deep grief. You know, another feeling we can have is, why me? How could this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this kind of treatment? Another feeling or feelings we can have are sadness or loneliness or even depression. I'm mindful of a good friend of mine, a colleague who's really brilliant at his work, but from time to time he'll just disappear for a few days. He'll not answer phone calls or emails, and I learned enough about his situation to know that depression and those moments in time are a result of his failed relationship with his own mother, and so in my view he needs to do some forgiveness work with her. So, you know, the feelings of anxiety and aggravation and regular agitation, there's something unfinished in us while we're harboring all this unforgiveness. And other feelings that are common is that we can become moody or defensive or crabby or negative a lot of the time. And then I think a big feeling that we have is that our well-being has just been destroyed. So the next part here looks at how we're acting out, how we're behaving. And I think we probably all know people, or maybe we've suffered from some of these things ourselves. We can numb our pain with alcohol or drugs. You know, I mentioned my own parents, both of whom came from alcoholic families, and I think, you know, they numbed their pain a lot through the use or the overuse of alcohol. Overeating and weight gain. You know, food serves as a way to numb unresolved pain. Another one is overspending on credit cards. There's, the deception of thinking that materialism and getting more stuff will somehow solve our problem. I know one of the feelings I've often had as a result of the amount of criticism that I endured as a child is defensiveness. I've basically said, you know, I'm just not going to tolerate any more criticism. I've been criticized enough. Having a dour, negative, cantankerous, or critical personality. You know, as a person I know in my town who is a little bit like this, it's sort of like being around a porcupine on a regular basis. You have to walk on eggshells in their presence. Another type of acting out is challenging others with short, rude, direct questions or answers. I have a friend whose wife, you can be in a social environment like a dinner, and she will have offended everybody at the table within minutes. And these are all examples of the ways that we can act out or behave as a result of unresolved stuff. So some questions I'd like to pose for us are, how are we feeling these days? Are we still steeped in seething rage? Are we still sad, lonely, or even depressed at times? Do we just wish all this negativity would just go away? And then secondly, how are we acting out from all the unreconciled stuff of the past? Are we looking honestly at how we're behaving? And a scripture I chose for this session is from Ephesians 4:31 and 32 that you'll probably recognize. It says, "Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Instead, be kind to each other, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you." So, thank you for your time today. We look forward to seeing you in session number 4.